Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. 106 Dapchi schoolgirls reunites with their parents, even as the parents of the only girl still in captivity, Leah Sharibu, expressed optimism on her safe return. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says 113 and not 110 persons were abducted from Dapchi on the 19th of February, even as he insists no ransom was paid for those released so far. Northern Governors Forum meet with leaders of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association towards finding a lasting solution to the incessant clashes between farmers and herders across the country. And Catalonia's former president, Carles Puigdemont, is in German police custody on the orders of the European Union. And channelstv.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 apps has an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and please follow the instructions. As Christians all over the world celebrate Palm Sunday, clerics in Nigeria are appealing to residents to embrace peace in order to ensure the development of the country. Well, at a special service to mark the occasion in Abuja, the vicar of the Holy Trinity Church asked leaders to ensure that the peace of the nation is not ruptured.
It is the procession symbolizing the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem as Christians gathered in various churches to mark the Palm Sunday. At the Church of the Holy Trinity and St. Matthew's Anglican Church, Christians offered songs of praise. The senior pastor of the Church of the Holy Trinity and the vicar of St. Matthew's Anglican Church stressed the need for peaceful coexistence of Nigerians.
Death is rolling in our nation today. I want to say, because we are marking today, we will celebrate victory over everything that is causing us pain as a nation. Because God has spared us as a nation to see another triumphant entering Palm Sunday, and we are celebrating, I want to quickly say that God will also help us to triumph over every challenge that we are passing through now. God is in need of all of us today. God is in need of our leaders to do what is right in this nation. God is in need of every man, every woman, every boy, every girl, every Christian, every Muslim. God is in need of every man in carrying out his desire for the world.
Away from the subject of peace, the clerics in charge of Celestial Church of Christ St. George's Cathedral, however, gives a different message to the nation's leaders.
Leadership is to serve. Jesus Christ displayed the humility of leadership by serving us. He came to save us. The same way, people that has been opportune to be in position of leadership should serve to make sure those they are serving are happy.
The celebration of Palm Sunday is an annual event in the Christian calendar, signifying the beginning of the Holy Week leading to the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
And in other parts of the country, churches have held processions as part of activities marking the Palm Sunday service to commemorate the triumphant entry of Jesus into Jerusalem, leading to his death and resurrection. Various clerics used the occasion to speak on unity and on the need for Christians to dedicate themselves to the service of God.
This procession on the streets of Lagos is symbolic of the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem, an event that precedes the crucifixion. And these
Christians are celebrating what is today known as Palm Sunday, an annual event that falls on the Sunday before Easter. At the All Saints Anglican Church in Lagos, the vicar speaks on the need for Christians to live a life worthy of God's approval.
My prayer for you is this. While we are led into this meditational week, pastoral week, may the Lord help you to do a personal review and examination so that if there's anything in you that will make God to come down to there and say, "Oh, I cannot celebrate this one." The Lord will help you to make the needful amendment. The communion of the Holy Spirit be with you all.
In Benin City, the Edo State capital, worshippers attend a service at St. Paul's Catholic Church. Here, the officiating priest admonishes the congregation to use the period of the Holy Week to offer reasonable sacrifice to God.
Mary at that point in time knew very well that nothing is too expensive to be given to the Master.
The procession in Kwara State takes off from the Murtala Muhammad Way to Maraba Unity Road and Taiwo Isale. After the event, the state's chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria uses the opportunity to call on Christians to be united by avoiding acts that could breed disunity.
Learning for Christians to learn in this type of period is unity of the body.
In Plateau State, north-central Nigeria, members of St. Teresa's Catholic Church in Jos, holding palm fronds, take part in a procession on the streets adjoining the church as a mark of celebration. According to the Catholic priests, activities marking the day had to be toned down due to security challenges.
We hope that when situations become much better, as the government here in Plateau State has been saying peace has improved, we hope that Christians will be allowed to celebrate their faith.
It's equally a solemn celebration at the St. Joseph's Catholic Cathedral in Kaduna State, where Christians observe the occasion with prayers and supplication. The Catholic Bishop of Kaduna Archdiocese admonishes political leaders to be guided by the sacrifice of Christ.
Anyone worth the name of a leader, is it a religious leader, is it a political leader, is it a traditional leader, is it a business leader? I think we must be ready to make sacrifices for the common good.
The Palm Sunday, which is observed by Christians worldwide, ushers in the Holy Week, which leads up to the commemoration of the death and resurrection of Christ. And St. Peter's Square was not left out in celebrations, as the start of the Holy Week was marked with a mass, and that's with Pope Francis as lead celebrant. Well, many held palm leaves to replicate Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem.
The Pope in his message called on young people to keep shouting and not allow older generations to silence them and their ideals. His message came a day after hundreds of thousands of young Americans and their supporters participated in the March for Our Lives event across the United States, calling for greater gun control. Pope Francis led a long and solemn Palm Sunday service before tens of thousands of people in St. Peter's Square, many of them present for the Catholic Church's World Day of Youth. Carrying a woven palm branch known as Palm Morello, Pope Francis led a procession in front of the largest church in Christendom to commemorate the day, which according to the Bible was the day that Jesus rode into Jerusalem, only to be crucified 5 days later. In the Philippines, Catholic devotees waved palm fronds and Catholic priests and lay ministers blessed the crowds with holy water. Worshippers said they hope their country can find peace amidst cases of drugs and random killings. Christians in the Syrian capital Damascus celebrated Palm Sunday at the Sayyidat Damashq Church near the town of Ghouta, where rebels have begun leaving since Saturday. Men, women and children attended the church in their Sunday clothes, lit candles and took pictures by palm branches.
Elsewhere, the Enugu branch of the Christian Association of Nigeria has asked churches to recognize their role in governance and always pray for peace and security of the nation. Members of the body offered the advice at a prayer rally for the state held at the Michael Okpara Square in the state capital. The state CAN chairman and chief convener of the rally also commended the security and developmental strides of the Ugwuanyi administration.
In this gathering are clergymen from all the Christian denominations in Enugu State under the aegis of the Christian Association of Nigeria, as well as Christian faithful from across the 17 local government areas of the state. They've come to pray for peace, security and good governance in Enugu State under the theme, Enugu State is in the hands of God, which has remained the slogan of the Ugwuanyi administration since inception. The governor joins them at the square and together the session begins with songs of praise. Drawing reference from the second book of Chronicles 7 verse 1 to 15, the minister calls on Christians to travail in prayer for the desired change.
There is any moment in our nation, in our region, in our state, when a united front is needed, it is now.
The core of the gathering, which is to thank God for the sustained peace in Enugu State, as well as prayers for progress, is anchored by Bishop Emmanuel Chukwuma.
Particularly as we also pray for him in this his 54th birthday, that God will transform his life, that God will transform the cabinet, that no evil man will be in that cabinet.
As far as the state president of the association, who is also the chief convener of the rally, is concerned, the association is impressed with the developmental strides of Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi.
Be assured of our support and supplications to God for a successful, peaceful transition and fulfillment of your heart desires for Enugu State.
Other Christian leaders in the state are also in agreement with this position.
We are no politicians, but when we see good, we recognize it.
The God that has brought him this far will also sustain him beyond 2019.
The gathering comes to an end. Take home for participants is to talk less and seek more the face of God in prayer. And of course, the need to also be involved in governance, irrespective of political affiliations.
When the news at 10 returns, Kano residents wonder why the ancient city's walls and gates have not made the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. That's on our community report. Join us again.